My wonderful, crazy husband is out here cleaning Ruby this morning.
There she is. All clean for you, sweetie.
Wow. Hi, Tux. What were you doing? Were you up to trouble in the garage?
Keeping me company for sure. Keeping me company for sure.
Good morning, Ruby. No sign on the software download screen of a new release. I'm hoping for 12.1.2 and haven't seen it yet. Yep, it's a school morning. Not too many more of them this year. 64 out there, gonna be a pleasant high in the 70s today. After I drop Johnny off at school, I'm headed to the dentist. Oh, joy. You have a good day, buddy. I love you.
Love you too, Mom.
I'll see you this afternoon. Bye-bye. I'm sitting here at my favorite church parking lot across from the school, sending gifts and spinning the 2 Pokestops that are here, and just killing a few minutes before I drive back down to Cary and go to my dentist appointment at 8:30. I had an hour to get there and I didn't need the full hour, so I'm really having allergies this morning. You know, just this watery eyes, itchy nose, sneezing. It's not a cold. This is definitely allergy stuff. So I'm a little miserable and I'm just trying to catch my bearings. It is looking like it's going to be a pretty day though, so hopefully when I come out of the dentist with a good checkup, head back home and get a little rest and enjoy the rest of the day. Thankfully, traffic is not as bad outbound as it is inbound right now. I'm here in plenty of time, and Ruby is definitely looking nice this morning. Like everywhere else I go, I park far away and walk in. These spaces over here really close to the dentist are super tiny. I'm glad the rest of the parking lot is filled with businesses that aren't open this time of day. I'm stopping at the Cary Walmart to look at flowers and Hot Wheels, since I'm over here this morning and I have a few minutes. It's right across the street from Whole Foods, but I never have time to stop here hardly when we're over here on Tuesdays. We're just got too much going on. No luck here either, even though I think there are some cars from the J box that the Model 3 was included in here. No 6 packs of coleus at this Walmart either, but both these plants were in the clearance area and look in really great shape at a good price. This variety of hibiscus just has a huge flower. I think it said it was Cajun Escape, whatever that means. This year's new variety, I guess. Walmart is really serious about selling these rockers for Mother's Day. I really don't need one. I have a great little rocker chair on the front porch, but I think it's cute. You know, this caught my attention, but it's not what you think it is. It stands for everyone. I was being as careful as I could, and my shopping cart still got away from me and was headed right for that Jeep over there, but I caught it, and I've taken it back now. And I'm gonna remember on the way home not to slam on the brakes or fast accelerate. I'm home and unloaded my stuff from Walmart and spent some time with Dawn and played with the kitties, and it was a really short turnaround today to go back and pick up Johnny, which is what I'm headed to do now. Dawn says he's probably gonna mow the grass today in lieu of running. I think he would rather run. Shoot, even I would rather run. I'm back home. Johnny's inside, and I'm just out here sitting with my boy for a few minutes. Hi. Hi, buddy. The good boy. He's a good boy. Buddy.
Hi, Mom.
Love ya. He's right. He says we're late, and we are. It's 5:03. Hopefully they didn't start yet. When I got home from school, it was either plant some of the outside containers, because I've got some, not all the plants I want, but some, or start putting away the Easter stuff that I'm late on putting up. I figured I'd like it up before Mother's Day. So, well, Easter was really late this year, though. So I started putting up Easter stuff because there were mosquitoes in the backyard buzzing around when I was with Tux, and I didn't want to put on bug spray and get all bit up. So I made a dent. I didn't finish. I got plenty more to do, but you know, a dent is good. So I've got Johnny up here at Taekwondo, and I'm debating, should I go home for the 15 minutes I would get to work and work on the Easter stuff and then come back or not. But I could get a lot wrapped up in 15 minutes. It's just hard to stop and then have to come back. Don's in the middle of mowing, so I can't send him. Poor guy. I feel for him. He sprayed down and is out there in the heat, sticky, tall grass. Yeah, I feel for him. I used to help mow more before I had this problem with my foot and the sciatica that caused me so much pain. So wish I could get out there and help him more. Have to worry about those ticks too. So I did decide to come back home and spend 15 minutes packing. And let's just say I have a little extra help. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hello. What else are you going to get into now, you and your sister? Sure is looking good out here. I said it sure is looking good out here.
Thanks, sweet pea.
And now I'll just get out of your way.
Thank you, pretty girl.
Hey, Nani.
Whew, what a day. Another yard cutting, lawn maintenance chore day taken care of. You know, and it's, I spent a total of, I don't know, maybe 45 seconds to 1 minute managing the batteries. I think I have 3 batteries. This is all the batteries I have. I have the big 7.5 amp hour battery, the 5 amp hour battery, and the 2.5 amp hour battery. The 7.5 amp hour battery I always start with, and I keep it fully charged because the only thing I really use it so heavy, I only use it in the lawnmower. The lawnmower takes all 3 batteries. All 3 sizes will fit. The 7.5 amp hour obviously has got the most oomph, I guess, but lasts about 45 minutes. But by the time, even if the 5 amp hour battery is dead, when I start cutting with the 7.5 amp hour battery, the 5.5 amp hour battery is charged because I have the quick charger, which is kind of gets me to where I was really wanting to talk about, what Marianne asked me to talk about. Look, when you decide to go electric or battery electric for your lawn care, you're buying into a system. You can't buy Ego and then Greenworks. And I don't know, Black & Decker. I
think Snapper's got some electric tools now.
Look, I'm not knocking any one brand, but I'm just saying is that whatever the first piece of equipment is that you start down that trial, unless it's a really inexpensive piece that you're willing to just toss, you're probably better off saying, I've looked at how I do my lawn care with gas. I've listened to YouTube videos and people have told me that this mower will work or that mower will work. And I think Ego is, this is a 56 volt system. The voltage, of course, equates to how much power can be delivered. The amp hours have to do with how long the mower will run. So typically speaking, a 56 volt mower is going to be more powerful than a 40 volt. I would say a 40 volt is the minimum for a lawnmower. And if you're getting self-propelled, you probably need to go even higher.
Which this one is.
This one is self-propelled.
So show us how you start it.
Right, okay, so show you how to start it. So,
because I can start this lawnmower, I don't have to call Don.
yeah,
I just slide the battery in there just like he did.
Right, and then of course you push the green button and then you pull the handle.
And then when you want it to move, it's that green handle next to him. Yeah, okay.
And it will move without the blade, so you don't have to walk this out to you where you don't have to run the blade. You can. Right,
when Don wants to bring it up the driveway hill, he doesn't have to spin the blade. He just lets it walk itself up.
It has a speed adjustment, and
that's so it doesn't drag you across the yard on self-propelled.
On fast, it's really fast, but I tend to do slow because I tend to wait too long between grass, and so, you know.
Well, if it would stop raining.
If it stopped raining. Well, anyway, so what I'm saying is you have to consider that you're probably going to need more than one battery. No matter which one you have, you're probably going to need more than one battery. If you should probably consider a system that has a quick charge, and you can get by with 2 batteries if you get a system that has a quick charger. Ego has a quick charger and they have a regular charger. The quick charger will charge this 7.5 amp hour battery in 1 hour. So that makes a big difference. If you get the 4 to 6 hour, the normal speed charger, might need 3 batteries. Now, believe it or not, I use the 7.5 amp hour and the 5 amp hour mostly in the lawnmower. I also have a Ego chainsaw and use it in that because obviously the chainsaw is a very power hungry device. But I actually prefer, and Marianne prefers, the smaller, lighter battery in the weed whacker. And this weed whacker is plenty strong. It's a dual line weed whacker. You have to understand, this is our 3rd year, literally. We bought it in April 2016. So we've gone 3 complete years. So it's used. So I like.
Yeah, we've had to go buy line for it.
That's right. We haven't bought anything but line. Sharpen the blade every year. The battery is very light. It makes this much manageable.
I agree that battery is very light. Although, other than you, who will use the smaller battery with the blower, when I set down the driveway, I take the big heavy battery because I don't want to have to switch it out.
And we often use I think the 5 amp hour battery is the popular one. And this one is really just good for the weed whacker. But we use it on the blower also. And it does just fine.
Yeah, that's the best. That's my favorite yard tool right there.
This works good. So what I'm saying is that you need to consider your whole thing. We bought the lawnmower with the big battery, self-propelled, and it was a little pricey. It was $650, I think it was.
And we had to order the one we wanted at the time because Home Depot didn't have that one in the store.
Free shipping, that's right.
Yep, yep.
They now have this mower with a brushless DC motor. I wouldn't get hung up on that. Brushless is better, of course, but this is a brush DC motor. But I figure in 10 years, we're down 3 years now. I have no doubt this is going to last 10 years. I don't care. For $70 a year, I'll just go buy me another mower. Okay, so if it'll last 10 years, that's plenty good for me. Besides that, I figure by the time this one, 7 more years, they'll probably have robotic, automated ones.
Well, they have them now, but they'll be even better.
I mean, they'll actually have AI, and they'll all do this stuff right here. And it'll probably bring me a beer in between changing batteries or something. But so we bought this, and it came with the fast charger, the 7.5 amp hour battery and the fast charger, and that turned out to be...
Right, the big honking battery came with the lawnmower.
I did not realize how important the fast charger was until, of course, I started using these things. When I was buying it, I didn't think much about it, charger this, charger that. But we bought the weed whacker and the blower. I think the blower came with the 2.5 amp hour battery. And it came with a slow charger, which we still have.
Right.
And then we bought the weed whacker, the string trimmer, 15-inch string trimmer. It's got plenty of power. I mean, it cuts down all kind of... I have no doubt this thing is as good as the gas. I realize some electric string trimmers aren't as powerful, but this is just as good as gas. We bought the tool only. The chainsaw we bought with a 5 amp hour battery, because a lot of times when they bundle the batteries with them, you get a better price on the battery, because I think they want $400 for that 7 amp you know, that's the suggested retail price. I don't know what you could actually get it for, but
right,
it's very pricey. But using
so you got to try to figure out what equipment deal you can get to get the bigger battery.
Well, I guess what I was saying is that we sort of went and bought the lawnmower, and then we like, oh, well, this is really good. You know, our blower, we actually had a Ryobi blower, an 18-volt blower, but we said, well, let's just go buy the blower, and we bought the blower, and we liked the blower so much.
Night and day difference, by the way.
Night and day difference.
Yeah.
And it's that 56-volt versus 18 volts, that power I was talking about.
We tried to get the kids to do the driveway. That blower can do it lickety split. The Ryobi, you actually had to work a little bit more for it. Yep.
So
dodge more mosquitoes.
At that time, Mary and I, we just went and said, well, we're gonna just go and replace everything. So we got the string trimmer and the chainsaw. We got all 4 yard maintenance items
that we cared about. Yeah.
And so all the batteries are approximately the same age. They have management circuits in the batteries that self-discharge. If you store them very long, fully charged, they discharge down. So I guess what I'm saying is give some thought to your choice. Go with the ones you want, but think about it. You say, well, if you use a gas string trimmer and a gas blower and a gas lawnmower, you're going to need electric versions, because once you go electric, the thought of going in there and mixing, if you're going to have to...
Yeah, Dawn is loath to run the regular chainsaw, for example.
That's right. Well, if you're going to mix gas and oil for one, you might as well mix it for 4 or 5. So I mean, if you're going to have to, it's just as much work to keep the gas and oil around for one lawn care tool as it is 2 or 3. So it's sort of like, you know, if you want to get rid of that pull start, hard to start gasoline, you just pretty much have to go all the way in. So I recommend that's what you do. I mean,
yeah,
go on and bite the bullet and do it. It's worth it. I have no trouble cutting the yard, including out of the street, weed whacking, and then I've still got to blow the everything. But you know, I wouldn't go back to gas.
Yeah, well, we had just 2 things from a woman's point of view. As I've never mixed gas and oil in my life and put it in a thing. And every time we went to start my dad's really good, he had to start it, and then he was upset by the time he was done starting it because it was hard to crank.
Right.
And sometimes if I had to stop it in the middle, I couldn't restart it. So that was a problem. So I can come out here if I'm feeling up to it anytime, and I know how to start this. Oh, and by the way, with all these trees, and if I needed to get Ruby out and there was a smallish tree blocking the driveway, and even if it's a bigger tree, I can start the chainsaw and make 1 or 2 cuts to get something out of my way if you weren't home and I was blocked in the driveway. So I like that peace of mind too. Yeah. I would never think of touching an a gas-powered chainsaw ever. Yeah.
And of course I wear my headphones, ear protection, not because the noise is too...
But so you can hear your podcast.
So I can hear my podcast easier. And
he's got his little cordless... You always
wear your safety glasses.
Yeah, he's got his little cordless Bluetooth
things. They work great.
Yep.
So anyway, I would tell you, don't... 3 years, it looks... I guess I could clean it off with the pressure washer, but I don't think I've cleaned it since I bought it. I think I've blown it off with the blower.
Right.
I think that's all I ever do is just take the blower to it.
Yeah, why not blow it before you stick it back under the house?
That's about all I do to it, and I have done that for 3 years, so that's what it looks like.
Yeah, still looks pretty good to me.
And the bag system on this works really well. I don't have a problem with the bag.
Show them how it comes off.
Yeah, it's
just 2 little pins down there.
2 little pins. And it's a pretty big bag, and they have a mulching attachment, which I do have, but I've never used. And the handle is adjustable, but all of that, you know, I guess what we're really trying to say is that you think you're going to start with one, you might as well go on and think ahead and get them all, or at least have a plan for how you're going to do it.
Yeah, this handle folds, so if you don't have room to store it like this, it does fold so you can store it on its end. Right. But we don't usually do that. Yeah, I don't. Not usually.
I have room under the house. I don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
The handle does fold.
Yep.
And then you can
lift it up. It's got a handle there when the back attachment's not on it.
You have to take the bag.
Have to take the bag off.
So it'll stand up. So
yep.
You know, that's handy. I mean, if you
have a shed and you're trying to fit it in there.
Now the truth is, this thing is, compared to a gas mower, it's not that heavy.
Right, which is another plus as a woman or a smaller, a teenage child wanting to push, is there's no arm soreness, muscles, you know, getting stressed out with this. I can shift this thing left or right in the yard without having to try, because it's that much lighter. Well, first off, it's self-propelled, but it's also that much lighter that I can woman handle it around the yard, no problem.
Right. That's what my girl does.
The table is far from done, except for the most important thing. Hi, Midnight. I lack this and this, and otherwise I'm all packed up. I have to get that tomorrow because dinner is out here cooking.
Feed me.
After you mowed the lawn. Sure thing, Donnie.
I took care of my beer all by myself.
I would have brought it to you with a kiss.
That's right.
I would have. You had just already grabbed it.
Mm-hmm.